this video, we are going to cover few preliminary T-SQL queries. Before moving on to the queries, let's go through what is SQL and SSMS. SQL is a structured query language used in a database. It is used for querying and operating database system. SQL is the core of the relational database, which is used for accessing and managing database. SQL Server Management Studio is an essential tool for effectively managing SQL Server database. We'll use SQL Server Management Studio to run the T-SQL queries. The queries which we are going to cover are how to create a database, how to create a table, inserting data into that table, creating a new table with the same structure of an existing table, and creating another table with the same structure and data of an existing table. Let's go to the SQL Server Management Studio. If I want to create an entirely new database, the syntax is create database, database name. So here the database name is Saroni. We'll run this query. Commands completed successfully. Completion time is shown here. If you refresh on this database option, we'll see the database Saroni has been created here. If I try to create this database Saroni again in a new session, then I would get an error that this database already exists. So if I want to create a database, but I want to make sure that the error does not happen, I need to add a condition in this query. So in T-SQL, I can check the database ID of the database. If it's null, that means that database does not exist in this studio. So if db_id of Aaron is null, Aaron is the database name here. Begin create database name end. If the database ID is null, then create that database here. I will execute this query to create a new database Aaron if it already does not exist here. This database actually does not exist here. So we are getting this output that commands completed successfully. Let's move on to creating a new table. To create a new table, we have to use this create table statement in SQL. But before creating this table, we have to specify the database where this table has to be created. Use this statement, use database name to select the database. The syntax of create table statement is create table, table name, bracket open, ID, integer. Data type of ID is integer, not null. The syntax is basically create table, table name, in bracket. We're going to mention each of the column names one by one and mention the data types besides the column name. So after the data type, in the bracket, we are going to mention the size of the column, and we are mentioning any constraint that we want to apply to that column. So we don't want any null values in this ID column. We don't want any null values in this name column. And then we have the location column, and we are giving varchar data type. 250 is the maximum length of this column that is allowed in this table, and we are just closing the brackets. Let us create this table. Moving on to the next query, where we are inserting 8 records into this table. Syntax is insert into table name, column names in the bracket, values. Then we enter in each of the records in round brackets. So you can see that the text is specifically mentioned in single quotes here. Let us insert some data records into this table department. The output is 8 rows affected. Let us select the data from this table department. Select star from department. These 8 records we can see here from development till quality in Chennai location. In the next query, we are going to create a new table with the same structure of another table. So here we are creating department underscore copy using the same structure of this table department. Select star into department underscore copy from department where 1 is equal to 2. 0 rows affected. Select star from department underscore copy. This is the table which we have just created with the same structure of an existing table. So we can see it has the same table structure, same columns ID, name and location from the department table. Let us create another table with the same structure and same data of another table. Select star into department underscore copy to from department. So we are basically creating a new table with the same data and same structure of another table. The output is 8 rows affected. So let us just verify the table that has been created using the table department. So department underscore copy to is a duplicate of the table department. Has the same 8 records and with 3 columns, ID, name and location. This is mainly it. I hope this gives you a review of the preliminary queries and this helps you get started with playing with the basic operations in SQL.
Do share in comments below if you want any particular topic to be discussed as well.